Alright guys, I finally watched Tsugumomo. I have to admit that I was vastly ignorant for not considering this title. Tsugumomo is hands down one of the best ecchi anime to this date. Not only does it have a lot of fantastic fanservice, but it also presents a captivating and intriguing story.
So what went wrong?
While skillfully developing its characters and giving us an amazing show in every single aspect. How come have I been so blind to overlook this hidden gem that for some unknown reason does not enjoy the popularity and success it so obviously deserves? In this spring, the second season was announced, which is great. After watching the first one, I just can't wait to see more of our badass protagonist and his unofficial harem. Yeah, technically the anime is only an action shonen with a lot of ecchi in it.
What's this? Feeling amorous this morning?
What? No, I'm not.
But considering how the main character is constantly surrounded by 4, and on certain times even 5 seductive girls, I say Tsugumomo qualifies as a harem, at least in my book. The show has all the elements for it, right from the start, as I've heard the name of the protagonist, Kazuya Kagami. I knew this is gonna be good. If K66 taught me anything, it would be that if the main character has a name starting with K, a lot of female groping is destined to happen. And of course, K66 also taught me that sisters eventually fall in love with their brother, which also happens in Tsugumomo. This is all great. Kasumi Kagami is the older sister of Kazuya. Well, they both have names starting with K. This is divine love, after all. Just recently watched We Never Learn. It's kinda similar how both of these brunette sisters act around their sibling.
ご飯にする？お風呂にする？それともHave you finally realized how attractive I am? Do you want to marry me now? I knew this day would come. I just had to be.
They cook and take care of the house, also being a bit rough with their beloved brother. Also, I like the retro shonen look of the anime. We rarely get an art style like this lately, and it is extremely appreciated. It helps the anime solidify its identity, and it certainly contributes to its overall charm. It feels like adapting a source material from the 90s, but given my superficial research, it turns out that the official run of the manga is between 2007 and the present time. So I guess it is an artistic choice after all.
You mean it?
How come the anime adaptation came only a decade after its first chapter? Tsugumomo needs more support, guys. It might be doing well as a manga, but I can't read. Therefore, the best way to get me hooked on a story is to adapt it in an anime. Man, you guys don't know what you're missing. Not only is this a clear frontrunner when it comes to the ecchi genre, but the story is so damn intriguing. It deals with spirits, possessions, and shrine gods, while also cleverly incorporating Japanese folklore into a character-driven narrative. The closest title I can compare it with would be Inuyasha. I know the difference in success and popularity are astronomical, but the way it is structured and how it combines compelling social problems and dilemmas with Japanese mythology compels me to associate these two titles. By the end of the first season, we also get a glimpse of the awesomeness which is yet to come. Kazuya enters his battle mode and transforms from an average nice guy into a complete badass.
Harubi!
I wasn't expecting such a sudden increase in his power, but it paid off brilliantly, as it enables the writers to throw more dangerous foes at him and give us even more engaging action sequences to follow. I'm getting a bit carried away, as I still have to properly introduce a bunch of interesting and compelling characters. As specified before, Kazuya is the protagonist of the story. He starts out as an average teenage boy. He ends up bright and often sleeps during class, which only furthers the anger of his class representative.
This is how you thank me for trying to wake you up from a nightmare?
Man, that hurt.
Strange how these opening scenes remind me of the beginning of Parasite, the anime version. Maybe because the main character is a clueless, lucky guy that accidentally grabs some boobs.
Don't leave me! Oh my god! Oh crap! I'm so sorry!
Now that is the only superpower I need. Anyway, we get to meet Kazuya's entourage. First we have Chisato Chikaishi, the strict class representative. She has an attitude towards Kazuya, mostly because he's a slacker who doesn't put much effort into his studies.
You are just the worst! Every time you're tardy, you insult this entire school!
However, Chisato is also his childhood friend and has a crush on him. How typical this whole situation is for a harem anime. Hey, if something works once, you can keep doing it over and over. I won't be able to tell the difference. Now I know I keep on referencing other titles, but I just can't help myself from pointing out similarities with other beloved anime, like To Love Ru. Chisato's free attitude and tendency to discipline others into conforming to school rules seems to me like just another Yui Kotegawa. I just love stray girls. They always turn out to be sensitive little angels once you break through their tough exterior.
また余計なこと言っちゃった。もう私どうしてこうなるの
Speaking about tough and girls I like, it's time to introduce the main dish to our buffet of hotties. I'm talking about Kiriha, the entity who will forever change Kazuya's peaceful, uneventful life. Kiriha is a Tsukumogami who used to be in the form of a white cherry blossom obi that Kazuya carries around. Now you may wonder, what is a Tsukumogami? Glad you are following the review. Well, in Japanese folklore,
Tsukumogami, when after many years, an object gains a soul.
so basically your blanket comes to life and tells everyone what you do during the night. Imagine your computer become an individual and spewing your browser history to everyone in your class. I might prefer the Terminator in that scenario. Anyway, in her human form, she appears as a teenager who is very powerful and capable of fighting against other Tsukumogami or other forms of hostile entities. At the beginning, she's the one that does most of the heavy lifting, which makes the protagonist rely mostly on his charm and ingenuity to entertain the audience. And it worked. Their duo was perfect. While Kazuya is calm and peaceful, Kiriha is ill-tempered and even aggressive at certain times. They go through the standard ecchi procedure of taking a bath together, and I gotta admit, I do appreciate how she's naughty and does not shy away in embarrassment when the main character accidentally sees her naked. They work well with each other, not similar in any way, but they have complementary personalities, and it is a joy to see them thematically interact with each other. She also grabs his dick while angry, which is something new for a seasoned veteran of the ecchi genre like me. It was kinda weird.
I do the protecting here, understand? Focus on the task at hand, you insolent little.
It is clear how Kiriha simply overpowers and dominates Kazuya, which is an unexpected turn of events, as technically the main character is supposed to be the master. I like Kiriha's willpower and determination to impose herself as dominant.
The obi you were born from belongs to me. I'm your master. I take it back. I take it all back.
Even against Kazuya's father. This was a rather amusing scene. It turns out she knows him ever since he was trying to start a relationship and did everything in her power to make his life miserable. Such a cool little gimmick to have the father figure be a wimp who lets himself be dominated in his own house by an arrogant little girl.
Hey, Kazaki, bring me some pudding.
Coming right up. This cannot be good.
Also, I have to mention how Kiriha shrinks and transforms from a teenager into a little girl. This was obviously done to hinder her romance with Kazuya, but the show managed to make it work. And she's just as aggressive and entertaining to watch in both of her forms. One last thing to mention about her, Kiriha likes pudding, and considering how I myself eat a pound of sugar every single day, I can approve of her hobby. The anime is kinda episodic and presents one event after the other in a well-structured narrative, which allows the audience to familiarize with every new character as they're being introduced later into the story. Next guy on the list would be Kukuri. She's the god of the land, protecting Kazuya City. Kukuri specializes in using water spells, and at first, she seemed to be an imposing goddess. But once she loses her powers, Kukuri becomes a frail little girl. Now Kiriha and Kukuri can act like animals by fighting for insignificant things or simply trying to put an old rivalry to rest.
You worthless liar! Give me a break! I'm sorry! I'll be the judge when she's had enough! No mercy for fools!
She and her familiar, Kukuyo, used to live in a shrine, but after suffering from one calamity to another, they both decided to live in a park. Naturally, this plan does not work out too well, as their temporary home gets demolished, which pushes them to ask for shelter at Kazuya's place. Kukuyo is a voluptuous woman who is also a raven spirit. She serves as Kukuri's familiar. She has huge breasts,
Those are huge.
and yet I don't find her that attractive. Maybe because her back is too big. Compare her tits to some DXD specimens, it's kind of unfair, but even though they are definitely some double Ds. Kukuyo lacks the feminine figure to go with it. As I said before, each episode has its own encounter with a folklore entity, and my personal favorites are the one in which reality, a school becomes a dating sim. It was so cool to have an animated version of a gal game, with choices and paths to take, while hoping to finally get a girlfriend.
What the heck? Boys and girls are mingling a lot more than usual.
Wish real life would be that easy. I do like the Chisato ending though, which I won't spoil. You have to see for yourself. Another highlight in the show is when Shiramine, becomes a womanizer. He's been the pervert of Kazuya's entourage and finally gets a chance to shine. Shiro is such a fun guy. Wish he would have been allowed to remain popular, as he has the spirit and determination of a true harem king.
How's this? You love it.
Shiro, you naughty boy! Do it to me too, Shiro!
I give Tsugumomo a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend you watch the show. It's funny, action-packed, and has so many colorful and interesting characters. World needs to get out. Tsukumomo is one of the better ecchi anime out there.